Hello, my name is John Rodriguez and I'm an instructor with the Miami-Dade Fire Academy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Combat Application Tourniquet, or the CAT Tourniquet. Here it is right here. We're going to be going over the parts right now. You're going to open it up and it's going to create a big circle. That's where the extremity is going to go into. This part right here is going to create a strap, which is going to secure the tourniquet in place. The next part of the tourniquet is the windlass rod. We're going to be spinning this until the bleeding stops or there's no longer a pulse. Next, we're going to have our time strap. We're going to secure this into place, and we're going to write the time that the tourniquet was applied onto the patient. Now we're going to talk about applying the CAT tourniquet. And this is only going to be used for extremity injuries, which you have your two arms or your two legs. This is going to be indicated when you see bright red spurting blood, which indicates oxygenated blood. That's a life-threatening emergency. The first thing I'm going to do is elevate the affected extremity, and I'm going to hold direct pressure. If my patient's able to, I'm going to utilize him to hold pressure for me so I could go to work with this tourniquet. Sir, are you able to hold pressure for me? Hold it right there. You're going to be okay. At this point, you want to open up your tourniquet, create that big circle, slide it through the extremity. You want to go high and tight. If you cannot see the injury, you go high and tight. If you're able to see the injury, you want to go 2 to 3 inches above that injury. Now you're going to secure it with the strap. With that initial strap right there, I should be able to stop 80% of the bleeding, so it's very important that you have a good strap. Also notice how it's nice and on the tourniquet. There's nothing exposed or flipped around. Next, I'm going to spin my windlass rod until the bleeding stops or there's no longer a pulse. After that, as you can see, I have all this extra strap left over. I like to put it through the keeper here. I'll loop it around my windlass. And I'll secure it into place with my time strap. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead, write down the time the tourniquet was applied. I like to put this portion of the tourniquet facing up. That way, if I have to drag my patient or move him to a different location, it's not going to get caught up on anything as I drag him. Once I get to my destination, that's when I'm going to go ahead and reassess my tourniquet, make sure that it's still in place and functioning properly. Now we're going to be applying a tourniquet to a lower extremity. Once again, the indication is going to be bright red spurting blood, which indicates that it's an arterial bleed, which is oxygenated blood. As soon as I notice the bleeding, I'm going to hold direct pressure. I could either use my hand or I could drive my knee into that affected area. That's called stopping the gap. Once again, if my patient's able to hold pressure, I'm going to utilize him so I could go to work on my tourniquet. Sir, are you able to hold pressure there for me? Don't let go. Open up my tourniquet, run it through the leg. And I want to go as high and tight as possible if I cannot see the injury. If you're able to see the injury, you're going to go 2 to 3 inches above. And as you notice, the leg is obviously a bigger extremity. I don't have any of that excess strap. That's fine. It's nice and secured on the Velcro. At this point, I'm going to spin my windlass rod until the bleeding stops. Now I'm going to secure it with my time slot. I'm going to write the time that I applied the tourniquet. Once again, I like to leave the tourniquet on the upper part of the extremity, so if I have to go drag my victim out, it doesn't get caught up on anything. Once I move him to the desired point, I'm going to reassess that my tourniquet is still in place. Now, something to add. If you apply a tourniquet and the bleeding continues, what you're going to want to do is put a second tourniquet below that tourniquet. And then you're going to do the same thing, spin the windlass till the bleeding stops, strap your time slot on, and you're ready to go.